take anything out, Eli.
Make a common denominator.
What's the common denominator here?
10.
Okay, so then what do I have to multiply the 2 by to get there?
5.
So then what do I do to the top?
Multiply by 5.
And then add them, correct? Same thing here. What's your common denominator? What's common between 3, 4, and 8?
16.
3 doesn't go into 16, Eli. Help them. 24. 3, 4, and 8 all go into 24. That's the lowest. Okay? What do I have to multiply 3y by to get to 24, Eli?
8.
8 times 8?
64.
What do I multiply 4 by to get to 24y?
6. Oh, 6y.
What do I multiply 8 by to get to there?
3.
There's your answer, Eli.
Thank you.
Do you follow what I did there? I got a common denominator. I like to write the denominator down and say, what do I have to multiply this by to get there? Because whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Same thing I did right here, right? The only thing that's confusing is I add in letters now. Other than that, I'm doing the same thing. You follow?
I think.
Okay. Second page. Yeah, I'll go to 7 in a second. How many of us need help with 6? So I'm going to start by, basically what I'm going to do, I want you to watch, you can do this any way you like, alright? But I'm going to put all my multiplying, all my numerators on top and all my denominators in the bottom. I'm going to factor everything as I go. So on top I have 3x minus 5. On the bottom I have x minus 3, x plus 3. The next fraction, I'm going to take a 2 out, so I have x minus 3. And on the bottom I'm going to factor it, and it's going to give me 3x minus 5 and x plus 1. Any questions so far?
How did you get that?
Yes?
Yeah.
I factored 3x squared. Let me do this for you. 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. I factored it. So because I have an a value and I can't take it away, 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, right?
Yeah.
The sum has to equal my middle term, my middle coefficient. What's my middle coefficient?
Negative 6.
Negative 2. So what are the factors of negative 15 that add to give me negative 2? Negative 5 and 3. So far?
Yeah.
So now, 3x squared minus 5x plus 3x subtract 5. You're going to factor the greatest common factor out of here. Out of there is x. So that leaves me with 3x subtract 5. There's nothing here, so I'm going to put a 1 there, like that. Follow all this so far? What's common between this and this?
3x minus 5.
So I take it out. I take it away from here, from this term. What am I left with?
X plus 1.
There you go. So there's that factor. Okay? Alright. I'm going to flip the last fraction. So x plus 3 is going to go on top. X minus 3 goes on the bottom because it's, if you're dividing by a fraction, you reciprocate and multiply. Now all I do is cross out. I've crossed everything out that's on the top, that's also on the bottom. I'm left with 2 on top, and on the bottom I'm left with that. X can't equal 3, -3, 5 over 3, -1. Some of you got this wrong here.
Like, what I did, I looked at the question, and when it's a perfect square, I guess, because you can factor it out, right? It's a perfect square.
What do you mean?
Like,
What's a
x
perfect
squared
square?
minus 9.
How do you factor that out?
Well, you can go like x minus 3, x plus 3, or
So
like
what
that,
do you do
right?
there?
I just, normally when I always looked at it, when I saw square right there, I just did 0. But when it's perfect square, it's not 0, right? Okay, that was one, yeah. Because that could be, yeah.
How'd you get the 5 over 3?
3x subtract 5 can't equal 0, right?
Yeah.
Add 5, divide by 3.
Oh. I missed that. That's what I got.
There's a number of you that didn't get the 5 over 3 part. Okay? Eli?
And if there's 1, and if you don't know, if you know it's a plus 3 and a minus 3, can you put plus minus? Or do you
Yes,
have-
that's correct. Yeah, no problem there. Okay? Anything else about this question? So, Shay, this part here was a problem?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's the long way of doing it. Some of you can go from there to there, but most can't. Most should do it the long way. Okay. The first question that was set in to challenge you was this: if both rational expressions are defined and equivalent, what is the value of k? Well, I need my right side to equal my left side, right? This question was a lot easier, but it was than you would think, but it was hard for you to see. So here's what happens in this question. I need the right side to be the same as the left side. So if I factor the bottom out, okay, I'll do it again. I'm going to factor the bottom. 2x squared plus 7x adds 6. Product, 12, sum, 7. Factors, 3 and 4, right? So 2x squared plus 4x plus 3x adds 6. Take a 2x out, that leaves me with x plus 2. Take a 3 out, leaves me with x plus 2. I get 2x plus 3 times x plus 2. Okay, so there's the long way of factoring again. Okay, so that's my bottom on this left side here. That's 2x plus 3, x plus 2, right? Okay, so far so good. Do we see this here? All right, now, in order for this to be the exact same on both, what has to be on the top here? I need to have 2x minus 5 up here somewhere. Right? That's the only way I can get 2x minus 5 over 2x plus 3. What else do I need up here so that the x plus 2 cancels out? X plus 2. So the bottom, when I factor it, is this. I need to cancel out the x plus 2, and I need to have an 2x minus 5 so that this is the same on both sides. So now, I FOIL this. 2x minus 5 times x plus 2 is 2x squared plus 4x, subtract 5x, subtract 10, 2x squared minus 1x minus 10. What does k have to equal? -1. still involved factoring. I had to factor this part right here. And then I had to say to myself, okay, well, in order for this to be the same over here, I obviously needed a 2x minus 5 up here, because I have it over here. But I also had this x plus 2 on the bottom, so how do I cancel out an x plus 2? I need to have an x plus 2 on top as well. So now, do those two sides equal when I cancel them? Yeah, they do. So what did k have to be? Well, when I FOILed this out, it had to be -1. Okay, that was a little above. I get that. But we have to be challenged. Some people needed to see a little bit of this. Okay, this is for the ones at higher learning. Think a little bit further ahead. Okay, questions? Eli?
So why do you not put 2x plus 3 above? Because you got it on the bottom.
Well, because I need it to look like this,
Oh yeah, I see, okay, yeah.
right? I needed, this left side has to be the same as the right side in order for them to be equal. So I needed 2x minus 5 on top and a 2x plus 3 on the bottom. And when I factored the bottom, I ended up with a 2x plus 3. Okay? Alright, any other questions about that guy? That was a question you haven't seen. All the rest we've done. Alright, so number 8 goes back to, number 8 is the same as number 3 on the front page. The only difference is it's not multiple choice. Okay, so I've got 5y over 6 plus 1y minus 2, subtract y plus 1 over 3y minus 2. Okay, so I factored a 3 out. I've told you this every time we've done a question. The first thing I'm going to do is factor if I can. Make the question simpler. Alright. First things first, what do both 3 and 6 go into? 6. There's one part of the denominator. What's the other thing I have for my denominator? Y minus 2. Great. So let's get started. Alright. What do I times 6 by to get 6 times y minus 2? Y minus 2. So I have 5y times y minus 2. Plus. What do I times y minus 2 by to get 6 times y minus 2? Plus 6. Subtract. What do I times 3 times y minus 2 by to get 6 y minus 2? What is it? 2. So I get 2 times y plus 1. Eli, did you follow this, what I just did?
Not completely.
Because you're writing it down. I don't want you writing this down. I need you to follow. The common denominator here, Eli, if I look at the numbers, what's common between 3 and 6? 6, so it goes right there. What else do I have as part of my denominator? I have a y minus 2. So it goes there.
I get that.
You get that? So then what do I times 6 by to get y minus 2?
Y minus 2.
So then I have to times that by it as well. What do I times y minus 2 by to get to here?
6.
So that becomes 1 times 6, which is 6. What do I times 3 times this by to get to there? 3 times what gives me 6? 2. Do I have to multiply that by anything? No, so I times the top and the bottom by 2 and I end up with that. Yes, Rex?
Could you have kept the 3 on the bottom and then
No.
divided it out after?
No.
No?
You have to get that common denominator in its entirety. Okay, so now I have 5y squared minus 10y plus 6 subtract 2y subtract 2 all over 6y minus 2. Y squared minus 12y. It looks like plus 4. This is also factorable. I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm not going to show you how to do the whole thing. If you want, you can ask later. But 5y squared minus 12y plus 4 is factorable. This factors to 5y minus 2 times y minus 2 over 6y minus 2. So this is just simply factoring this. Everybody looking at this? I know you're all writing it down. I prefer you don't, but whatever. You're factoring this. It factors to that. I'm not doing the long version of it. Now that I have that, I can cancel those out. There's my answer.
So you needed the factor to get up the works.
Absolutely. It's the whole point of the exercise. Give your answer in simplest form. Okay? You're reducing fractions. All right, questions about this? Going from here down. Collect the like terms, factor, simplify. Okay? The next one. What's the common denominator on this one? Well, I'll do the whole thing. 2 minus 5 over 2 subtract 5 over x minus 3 x plus 2 equals x add 3 x minus 2. All right. Now, the difference between simplifying a polynomial expression and solving a polynomial expression is when you simplify, you keep the denominator. When you solve, you get rid of the denominator. What's the common denominator here? Oops, I got a mistake here, sorry. Oh, yeah, this should be x plus 2. Okay, so what's the common denominator?
X minus 3x plus 2.
Okay, so I've got to multiply everything by that denominator. This, x minus 3x plus 2. This, x minus 3x plus 2. This, x minus 3, x add 2. Cancel, 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 cancel. So what am I left with? 2 times x squared minus x minus 6, subtract 5, equals x plus 3 times x minus 3 is x squared minus 9. That's difference of squares there, right? So x squared minus 9. Multiply my 2 through, 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 minus 5 equals x squared, subtract 9. Get everything to one side, x squared minus 2x, that's minus 17, add 9 gives me minus 8 equals 0. That's just collecting like terms, subtract x squared, add 9. Okay? X minus 4, x add 2. X is equal to 4 and negative 2. But if you look at your non-permissible values, that can't be an answer for you. Okay, I've got 6 minutes to do one of these 3 questions. Mary?
I'll vote 10.
Sorry? Oh no, I'm gonna get through them all today and tomorrow, but we're gonna do 10. Okay. A plane is flying from Winnipeg to Calgary against a strong headwind of 50 kilometers an hour. It takes a half hour longer for this flight than it would in calm air. Okay? If the distance from Winnipeg to Calgary is 1,200. I got a mistake on this, I think. But anyways, I'll get that straightened out in a minute. All right, okay. First of all, I did make an error on this, darn it. Anyways, in column error, okay, so it says it goes against a headwind of 50 kilometers an hour. So, just a second. Winnipeg to Calgary, Calgary to Winnipeg, in both directions. Okay, so the distances then are 1,200 and 1,200 and 2,400, right? Okay. Now, the speed is plane flying against the wind, plane flying with the wind. So far, so good, right? The time now. So this is distance, this is velocity, this is time. So the time it takes here, the plane takes a half an hour longer for this flight than it would take, okay, I got it now. All right. So this is 1,200 divided by x minus 50. This is 1,200 divided by x add 50, right? The total time is, in column error, would be 2,400 over x. So I have 1,200 over x minus 50 plus 1,200 over x plus 50, and it takes an extra half hour than it would if I did it in column error. So from Winnipeg to Calgary, he's flying against the wind. From Calgary to Winnipeg, he's flying with the wind. So that means his speed's increased. When you combine the two, it takes a half hour longer than as if you were to fly there and back with no wind at normal speed of x. Oh, yeah, we could do it that way then too. Okay, let me backtrack then. So it would be, what do I not need then? I don't need this. I need this plus, see, it's actually easier. 0.5 equals 1,200 over x. My bad, sorry people. That's what it is there. This is if it was the entire flight. So there's what you have. Right there. Flying from, what's it, Winnipeg to Calgary or Calgary to Winnipeg? Winnipeg to Calgary is 1,200 kilometers. It's flying in the wind. So it's against them. It's going to take them half hour longer than if you flew there without wind. Is that? Yeah, so I'm finding x. Yeah.
But you only get outside because you're not going
No, you are.
against the wind.
No, because you're going against the wind. So it's going to take you half an hour longer than if you did it in column error. You've got to compare the two. Okay? So now, what's my common denominator here? Actually, I should switch this to a fraction. What is my common denominator here? Yeah? What else? Here, multiply all of them, right? So x minus 50, 2, and x. It's your common denominator. So you multiply everything by 2x times x minus 50, and you get rid of it. Okay? Take that home with you tonight and attempt to finish this question tonight on your own. And then I'll do the other two at the start of class tomorrow.